I was reading a very short letter by Seneca today, and he was talking about how we prepare for external emergencies or possible disasters, but that we take no note of the harm that our own actions, thoughts, and beliefs cause other people, or how other people really are the biggest sources of disaster in our lives. And it's true when it comes to our own thoughts, acts, and beliefs, we don't think about them very much. We don't take note because they're our own, so we think we are prepared and we are in control of them. And we just don't think of them very much. But it also struck me when we look at the external events that happen every day in the outside world, be it natural disasters or just how people behave towards each other. As much as there's going on out there, there's really so much more going on within us. The conflicts that we have, the battles that many people fight within themselves, and the unresolved thoughts and emotions, and again, incomplete beliefs that they carry and that they struggle with, think they're struggling with. Every day, there's so much more happening within than without. Yet, if we're preparing for anything at all, we prepare for those outside events that might happen to us because we feel like they're much more dangerous and hazardous and even more important, when it's really the exact opposite. There's much more magnitude within. And so we don't pay particular attention to the correctness of our beliefs, of our thoughts, of our acts, thinking that when the time arises, we will be correct and we will do the proper thing. We will act like the way we should be, or we think would be most beneficial to us and others. But when the situation arises where our resolve is tested, or our character is tested, we flail. I mean, we just look around and we just panic and start doing irrational things. And so the funniest thing, our sense of sureness, of certainty, is really the cause of our unpreparedness. You'd think that if you're sure about something, that means that you are prepared and that you're ready to face it. But in this case, and in the most important cases, it's the exact opposite. And so we keep preparing for external potentialities which have their causes in a realm in which we have no control or responsibility, while we neglect the internal actualities which very much have their causes in a realm that we have control and, most importantly, responsibility in. But we neglect that while preparing for the other. And of course, it's smart to prepare for a flood, but really it's wise to prepare for a flood of unchecked emotions. It's really smart to prepare for an earthquake, but it's again wise to prepare for our core beliefs and thoughts and ideas being shaken to the ground, because that an earthquake, most people don't go through earthquakes and floods, even if they live in an area prone for them. So of course they prepare for them, but more likely than not, most of us are not going to experience that. But what we do experience are the floods of unchecked emotions, the ground shaking of our beliefs, and what we thought was right and what we thought we could do and or could not do. And the flood of unchecked emotions is really the cause of our regrets and even accidental mistakes. And so we hurt others by doing that. We cause casualties with our casual unpreparedness. And it's wrong. And of course, when I say we hurt people, I sort of take the side of Socrates, who says, no one can harm another. One can only harm oneself. Because everyone's responsible for how they perceive things and how they let things affect themselves. But of course, that's not an excuse for anyone to act in any way that's wrong or hurtful, potentially. So I feel that many of us are good enough to never want to hurt anyone, but we're not wise enough, we're not prepared enough to turn those intentions into solid beliefs and proper acts by preparing for them. And just like to want to survive a natural disaster is not enough to become prepared for it, to desire happiness is actually not even enough to avoid its opposite. Because a flood will sweep you away if it comes and you're unprepared for it. But no one can blame you for being swept up by an actual flood. It's not in your control and it's not your responsibility. The flood comes and it does to you what it does. But to be swept away by your own faults very much is blameworthy and is under your responsibility and is your own failing. And so preparedness in these things is actually much more important than any other preparedness. And Marcus Aurelius talks about this too, when we say we are able to craft our own ideas and beliefs into proper ones and into modest ones and into good ones, and to exercise virtues, to become more honest, to become more decent, fair, just, courageous, brave. These are all things these are the preparedness issues. These are the areas in which we need to do this work, more than even the external physical world's preparedness. And any of us can and must work on this with themselves, by themselves, for themselves. It's not that it's shameful to get anyone else's help, but in this arena, there is no one who can help. The best person is you, and the only person is you. And that's also a positive thing. If not only the only person is you, but the best person, you have the best person available to you to do this with. And Marcus Aurelius, as he always does, very directly, says, you can do this too, or else tell me, who is keeping you?